Selecting the right spa for you. Size does matter. Often people come into the store and they ask me, where do I start? Do I get a 6-foot spa, a 7-foot spa, 8-foot spa? Do I need a lounger? I'm so confused, what do I do? To kind of simplify it, is the first thing you want to do is sit in a spa and make sure that you're comfortable in all or at least most of the seats. If you're buying a spa for your whole family, have them also sit in the spa with you, and make sure that you're comfortable in the spa dry. If you're comfortable in the spa dry, it gets even better if it's wet. That's the first place you start. Doesn't matter at this point how many jets, what color it is, what the size is, you just want to be comfortable. That's the first thing you want to do. Are you deep enough in the seat? You want to take a look at the spa and say, where's the water going to be when I'm sitting in the seat? Is it going to be up to here? Am I going to be up out of the water? And you want to make sure that you're good with that. Everybody's different. You'll have different preferences. You'll learn a lot about those preferences once you start getting in the spa and getting a feel for what it is that you like and what you don't like. How many jets do you need? To me, jet count doesn't matter so much as the quality of jets. If you're looking for a spa just to soak in the hot water, it doesn't matter if you just have a bunch of little bullet jets. It doesn't matter how many jets necessarily. If you're looking for a spa with a certain type of massage, that you've got a certain type of back issues or shoulder issues, then we're going to want to select a spa with the jets that are in the right place, with the right massaging action, with the right water flow, and we can help you with that. Aesthetics. You want to make sure that you like to look at the spa. Just like out buying a car or a house, it's got to have curb appeal for something that you like. You're going to have a whole bunch of different brands to choose from. You're going to have different colors and options. You want to be able to walk up to it and say, wow, I really like that color. But keep in mind, 99.5% of the time that you look at the spa, you're not going to actually see the color of the actual shell because there's a spa cover on top of it. You'll be looking at the cabinet and you'll be looking at the actual cover on the spa. And from there, of course, when you open it up, you want to have a color that you like. If you're going for LED colored lights, they tend to reflect better off of the lighter colors, the whites, the silver marble, the sterling, the gypsums, that sort of color. So first, pick a spa that's comfortable, figure out what jets and placement that you like, then the budget, and then we can kind of figure out whether we're going to put you in a good, better, or best price range spa, and we'll narrow that down and help you pick the right spa for you in the right color, right cabinet, right cover, and of course, the right options for you. 155 spas on display under one roof. I'm often asked by other people in the spa industry, Rick, what are you thinking? Why do you have so many spas? You've got 6 or 7 different manufacturers on your floor, brand new spas, and 60, 70 refurbished spas at a time. Aren't you just confusing your customers? Well, here's the reason why I carry so many spas with so many different manufacturers. It's all about you and finding the right spa that's comfortable for you. Not the most expensive spa, not necessarily the cheapest spa, but the right spa with the right jets, with the right massage action that you need. Often customers don't necessarily need a hydrotherapeutic spa for any back problems or neck problems. They just want something to have fun in. I can put you in a good spa without spending too much money. Other people, they need real hydrotherapy. They need jets in certain spots and for their feet and for their back and for their neck. And often we're able to put them in a higher end spa from several different manufacturers. Which one's the best? The one that's going to best fit your body. How can I do that if I just have one manufacturer spa on the floor? If I was to do that, like many dealers do, I have to sell you on that manufacturer spa is the best no matter what, no matter if it is or it isn't. In this case, I've got 7 different manufacturers on the floor. We can look around and find what's best for you. I don't have to convince you that this is the way to go, or you need a certain special filtration system that this manufacturer makes, or you've got to have a certain frame, whether it be pressure treated wood or aluminum or anything. I've got them all, so we can explore all the options. We can look at all the bells and whistles and all the claims to fame of all the individual manufacturers and find out what makes sense for you, what's most comfortable for you, and at what price point is going to work for you. Often, it comes down to, for example, recently I had a customer that really loved one of my Bullfrog spas, but also loved an LA spa because of the power and the unique jet configurations, but was still kind of sold on the beauty and performance of the marquee spa. Well, it made it real simple that they were all on one floor. They were able to bounce from one spa to the other, quickly narrow it down, and I won't tell you what they bought because I don't want to play favorites here, but they picked the spa that was best for them at a price that made sense, and they're happy. I can't do that with just one spa. I've got to have a big selection. Often people don't want to spend the money for a new spa, so they get a refurbished spa for a third to half the price of a new spa. Not for everybody, but for many people, that's the way to go. So it's about you. It's not about me. It's not about me receiving a trophy like I have in the past from a manufacturer for being a top seller. It's got to be about the customer. Imagine this. Imagine going out to a big box store to buy a television set, and you walk in and they say, oh, you got to buy this Panasonic because the plastic's better, the screen's better, this is better, that. You'd never hear that in modern times, but you do hear that often when you go from spa store to spa store, why theirs is the best at the lowest price. A lot of puffery. That's why I carry so many spas. It's all about you. Finding the right spa that fits you at the right price, whether it's new or refurbished. You're going to have a huge selection, a huge variety, and a whole bunch of price points to select from. It's all about you. New spas, major manufacturers differentiating themselves from the competition, and plain old storytelling. I'd like to talk to you about new spas, including some of the spas on my floor, so I'm not picking on anybody else, and some of the differentiation that goes on in our industry and what I call storytelling. And it's, for example, when a manufacturer will teach a dealer like myself why, for example, their filtration system is superior to every other filtration system in the market. Now, obviously, I'm not going to mention names of the filtration system, so we'll just call it the super duper filtration system. So we'll take a presentation from a manufacturer that goes through a process of teaching us how the water goes through the pipes, through some sort of special process, ultimately through a paper filter so that you get clean water in your spa. We'll call that the super duper filtration system. You'll have a customer come into the store and say, do you have that super duper filtration system that I heard at down the street at Brand A Spa store? Do you have that? Because I really want to make sure that my spa water's clean. And of course, I kind of laugh a little bit. I'll show you around, show you all the different manufacturer spas I have in here, which I actually have 21 spas wet on display here, none of which will have the Brand A's version of the super duper filtration system, all of which are clean all the time. Ultimately, the manufacturers at this point have all figured out how to filter water. It's fairly simple. You're bringing in what I'm going to call the dirty water, even though it never really gets that dirty, and running through some pipes, possibly through an ozone system, and ultimately through a paper filter where contaminants get caught in the filter. And on your maintenance cycle, you'll pull the filter out, hose it off. Yet we tend to get caught up, and I want to dispel these types of myths where you kind of get brainwashed, if you will, that if you don't have that super duper filtration system that does special things, that somehow you're going to be sitting in dirty water. And I'm here to tell you that it's not true. You're safe, and every manufacturer I've seen on the market today knows how to filter water. So rest assured that you don't have to buy a certain brand to get clean water. You're going to get clean water in all brands. Horsepower. A lot of manufacturers will rest their hats on how much horsepower you get with how many jets in the spa. It doesn't really matter how much horsepower that you have. What matters is that the horsepower is correct for the type of jets and the jet count, which you can tell by the easiest way, not by me telling you, not by anybody telling you, not by doing research, but by putting in your hand into the water, into the spa of that brand which is running, and feel it, or put your whole arm in, or better yet, put your bathing suit on and go for a swim and make sure that there's enough horsepower to propel the jet to where it feels good. More horsepower doesn't mean better spa. The truth is, most manufacturers have what's good, better, and best spas. Good spas are generally the ones that you hear advertised about. You know, 35 jet spa for $39.99, you know, that sort of thing. It's a good spa to bring you in, and a lot of good spas are sold, and for good reason, they're good spas. Then you've got better spas, which is a step up from there, better jets, better equipment, just often better looking spa. And then you have the best spa, the best category, which is your high-end spas, where you get just the ultimate. You get essentially the best of the best spas in each brand. Now with the storytelling, a lot of times the manufacturers are comparing their best spa to the competition's good spa. So you just want to be aware that when you're shopping for a spa, that you go good, better, best, get the price comparisons equal, and then when you make that comparison, make sure, for example, if you're in my store and you're looking at $8,000 Bullfrog, you don't want to compare that apples to apples to a $5,000 Coleman, because chances are the Bullfrog is going to have more stuff on it and charge you more. So you want to make sure to go apples to apples with the Coleman spa in the same price range, so that you're more apt to get a really fair comparison. That way the storytelling is all even and you've done your research and you can better select the right spa for you. Part of the reason for me discussing this topic about storytelling and some of the fun things that the manufacturers teach us to do and how to differentiate their spa from the competition is not that there's not truth to it. All the manufacturers that I have here on the floor and some at my competitors are all great spas. My point about talking about it isn't to do anything but make you aware that there's a lot of great spas, or we'll call them best, and there's a lot of really good spas, and there is a lot of better spas. So point being, I just like to continue to dispel the myth that there's a best spa or a top 3 or 4 brands of spas on the market, and that everything else you're not getting a good hot tub, when in fact there are a lot of good spas on the market today. Just shop good, better, best, be aware of it, do all your research, and best of all, listen to yourself as opposed to just the research you're doing online or through friends and so on and so forth. Don't get caught in the jet price trap. What is it? It's when we shop for a spa for the quantity of jets versus the overall quality of the spa. This is the jet price trap. Let's take a look at some of the jets that you'll encounter when shopping for a spa. For example, here is what we call a bullet jet, often found on a high quantity, lower price spa. Nothing wrong with it. It's a very simple jet, a little bit of water volume. You can see the back end of it. You get a little bit of water flow. It has its place in a spa. You can step up, get a little bit bigger jet. We can move on, get even bigger with more action. We can get real fancy and bigger. Or we can go really large. These are both jets. So when you see these advertised, this is a jet and this is a jet. More often, you'll see the difference between this and this. So if it has 50 jets versus 30 jets, where maybe 20 of them are this size, maybe 10 are this size, and the rest are this size, because this is a good jet. It has its place in a spa, but just to educate you that there are a difference in jets, the back ends, the water flow. Point being is just because it has more jets doesn't mean it's a higher value. So you don't want to get caught in the jet price trap. You want to shop for what's comfortable, the right jets in the right place with the right water flow for what you're trying to accomplish. So again, often you'll find, and I'm guilty of this too, I have these spas on my showroom floor, so I'm not picking on the competition. You'll see advertisements, 50 jets, $39.99 with synthetic cabinet and warranty and everything. It's a great deal. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily a better deal than you're gonna get for $1,000 more with bigger, potentially better jets, more horsepower, better placement. I say, who cares how many jets it has? It's all about the quality of the jet, the placement, making sure that the spa fits you, that you're comfortable in it, and the spa is gonna do what you set out to buy a spa for in the first place. So forget about quantity, let's go for quality, let's find the right spa for you. Should I wait to buy my spa at the fair or local home show, I'm often asked? Will I get a better deal? Well, I've been selling spas since 1994, and I can tell you a few things. One thing, I've never been given a better price for the spas that I sell in my showroom just because I'm taking them out to the local fair or a local home show to sell. Another thing, we've all learned this. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is, right? So if you see a spa at a local fair or home show that appears to be selling for a lot less than at a showroom, you've got to question yourself, why is that? I've never received a better price from a manufacturer just because I tell them, hey, I'm going to the fair, give me a better price, or I'm going to a home show, I need better price. Now, what I have got are special spas that are priced lower that often have less features and benefits, or maybe less expensive jets and less horsepower, or just appear to be just as good as some of my standard spas that are on my showroom floor, but never have I actually got a better price just because I'm going to the fair home show. And you also have to consider, when you buy from your local dealer, such as myself, we have fixed expenses that are very low compared to going out to a fair or home show. I encourage you to buy your spa from a local dealer, such as myself. What you don't want to do, what I'm trying to educate you on, is not to fall for, hey Rick, and I've heard this before, I just bought a spa for $5,000 at the fair. It's normally a $12,000 spa. I'm here to tell you that nobody that I've ever come in contact with can possibly sell you a $12,000 spa for $5,000. That's just marketing. In my opinion, it's bad marketing. It's always a bad idea to lie to people. If the spa is $12,000, it's going to sell for right around $12,000. If you bought a spa that's $49.99, it's a $5,000 spa. Trust me, we don't make that kind of margin. We can always beat a fair home show price on an apples to apples comparison on a spa. Even more important, we're always here for after your purchase for service, for questions, for water testing, and we also generally have a lot more spas to select from. So I encourage you again to buy from your local dealer, use common sense, do your shopping, and select the right spa for you, your budget, and your overall comfort. Enjoy your spa. Should I buy a used spa? And what is a refurbished spa? A used spa is something that you buy maybe online or from a neighbor that's a spa that somebody bought new many years ago, used it for a while, kind of lost interest in, and now it's basically a used spa for sale. Not necessarily a bad thing, but understand that there's a difference between a used spa and a refurbished spa. A used spa is what I would buy, for example, in somebody's backyard that most often hasn't been used in 2-3 years. It's very dirty, not sure if it works. We pull it out, we bring it to our shop, we strip the panels off of it, we fill it up with water, we turn it on, we see what's wrong with it, and we start to make repairs. We go through a multi-dozen point inspection process, starting from the outside and working in. We find any leaks, we repair them. We find any weak spots, we repair those. We take the motors and we go through them with seals and bearings. We check the heater, we often replace the heater element. We do a lot of things that sometimes aren't even necessary at that moment, but we know at some point in the future they will be, and it's a lot less expensive for us to do it now than to service it under warranty in your backyard. So you're getting a lot of new parts in these refurbished spas as opposed to just buying a used spa. I buy hundreds of used spas a year and turn them into refurbished spas, and I can tell you that the vast majority of them need between $1,500 and $2,000 in retail repairs to get them up into good, refurbished operating condition. The process is like this. For example, you may go out and buy a used spa and you'll spend significantly less money than you would on a new spa. In most cases, within 6 to 8 months, by having a repair person come out and start replacing jets and heaters and whatever else may go wrong, that you'll spend between $1,500 and $2,000 to get that up into shape to where it's actually usable and really nice. By having refurbished spas to choose from, you can actually have, like in our case, 60 to 70 refurbished spas that are already done, that are already working, that are covered under warranty, so that rather than going into individuals' backyards one at a time and looking at the spa and kind of guessing what repairs will be necessary the next few months, you kind of already know it's been done and I get a warranty. So there's a big difference between a used spa and a refurbished spa. Refurbished is finished. Used, you're kind of not sure what you're getting. I generally have between 60 and 75 refurbished spas on the floor from manufacturers such as Sundance, Cal Spas, Hot Spring Spas, Caldera, Catalina, Bullfrog, Coleman, Free Flow, and many others. So if you're buying a used spa, make sure you've done your homework, do the proper research, or better yet, come on down to Rick's and choose from our refurbished spa selection where we've already done the work for you. Operating and enjoying your spa. I want to talk a little bit about operation of your spa and the overall enjoyment of your spa. Let's first touch on owner's manual. With every spa, you'll receive an owner's manual. What I suggest you do before you get your spa is just kind of skim through it, check it out. It's pretty basic. If you did nothing and you didn't even open the owner's manual, your spa will go to default settings, which is fine. By having the owner's manual, it's going to help you set things such as an economy mode versus a standard mode. And what that means is it's a filtration cycle. In a standard mode, for example, if you set your spa to 102 degrees, it's going to raise the spa to 102 and it's going to keep it there. So if it gets cold out at night, drops to 101, 100 degrees, it's going to kick on to 102, so on and so forth. If you decide to save a few pennies every day and put it on economy mode, what that means is, let's say you're going to use the spa just at night from approximate hours of 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. By having it in the economy mode, you can set your filtration cycles to come on, for example, at say 6 p.m. and maybe 6 a.m. And during the filtration cycles, the thermostat will pay attention to what you set it to and raise the temperature just during that time. That way, in the middle of the night and during a non-filtration cycle, you're not spending any energy to bring the heat up. The only time you really need to stay in standard mode is if you're in a really cold area, perhaps up in the mountains, your spa is covered with snow and you just really want to keep it warm all the time, keep it in standard mode. Or if you're like many people, you're not quite sure when you're going to use it, so just keep it on standard mode. You might get up at 3 in the morning and you want it hot and ready to go, or could be 10 o'clock in the morning, afternoon, night, you're just always hot and ready to go. If you live in a more moderate climate like we do here in Southern California, you don't have to worry about losing temperature overnight. You can go ahead and keep it in economy mode. When you get your spa, before you even use it, I recommend that you go ahead to the top side controls where all the jet buttons are and that sort of thing, and play with it a little bit. You know, hit the jet, see what comes on, turn the jets on and off, hit the little air control valves on top. That way you spend a couple minutes doing that, so it's much easier for you once you get in the spa. When it comes to water care, we recommend a system called the Spa Frog. It's a bromine system, which is what's called the buffered chlorine. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with chlorine. Chlorine is actually formulated for cold water. Bromine is what they call a buffered chlorine, which is actually formulated to be effective in hot water. So essentially it's chlorine, it's called bromine. We also have a mineral cartridge which kind of replicates water going through a river, picking up the minerals and such off of rocks. The other thing you'll need is just one little bag of what's called conditioner. You'll put one bag of this in your spa every time you change your water, let this float in it. Some spas, there's actually a cartridge in the spa that holds these cartridges. You replace this about once per month, and you replace this once every 3 months. Together, they're about a $50 combination. In order to test your water, you'll just need simple test strips. You'll dip it in the water once, you'll check the color patch, and make adjustments as necessary. I'd love to show you a whole bunch of other chemicals, but for the most part, this is all you're going to need. You're going to test it, you're going to keep it clean and maintained, and you're going to condition the water so that the chemicals work better. It's very, very simple. Health benefits in owning a spa. I'm just a spa salesman, so I would check with your physician first. Many of my customers have found relief from a spa, for example, enabling them to take those aching muscles that they have that's normally stopping them from getting a good night's sleep, and soaking in the hot tub before they go to sleep, drying off and getting right to bed, sleeping through the night like a baby. Sometimes getting up in the morning a little bit sore, same thing. Back in the hot tub, get feeling good, and off to work for the rest of the day. I've had many customers over the years come in and tell me stories of the relief they've got from using their hot tub, from sore muscles, achy joints, trouble sleeping at night. And the hot tub in many cases has resolved most of those issues. Now consult with your physician first to make sure that hot water therapy is the correct therapy for you. But again, I've had many satisfied customers that have found that relief by using and enjoying their hot tub. Warranty coverage on new spas and warranty coverage on refurbished spas. On the new spas, you have a full and complete warranty that covers all the manufacturer's defects, and on our refurbished spas you also have a warranty for things like leaks, the operation of the pump and the controls and such. Even more importantly, I'd like to address troubleshooting and what sometimes is referred to as a warranty call and turns out is not actually a warranty item at all. That's the good news. For example, you may discover that your spa is starting to heat up a little bit slower than it used to, or the jets aren't as powerful as they were a couple years back when you first got your spa. What we found after many service calls with this type of request is that your filter's dirty. By having a dirty filter, the water slows down, the heater doesn't want to work, and of course the jets aren't going to be moving as fast. So by pulling your filter out and cleaning the filter, or even before you put the filter back on, you'll see that it's heating better and the jets have more power. And so now you've eliminated the weak link by pulling the filter out. Now, of course, you want to keep your filter in your spa, so clean the filter, soak it in cartridge cleaner once a month or so, and put it back in. The flow comes back, your heater works excellent, just like the day you got it, and your jets flow really strong. Another troubleshooting tip, I get a phone call, my water in my jets is coming on, slowing down, surging forward, slowing down. What it is almost every time is that you need a little bit more water in your spa. What happens is the spa is pulling the water in and then it's getting air and then it's getting more water and then it's getting air, so it's what we call cavitating. So by adding more water, it'll fill those air gaps and you'll have 100% water and your power will come back just like it did when you first filled up the spa. Troubleshooting tip when it comes to your topside controls, where your temperature buttons are and your jet buttons and so forth. You may get a funny reading, or it might be blinking, or you're not sure what it's doing, or sometimes the pad just goes dead. Here's what I want you to try. If you're comfortable at your electrical breaker box, just go to the breaker box, shut the breaker off to your spa, go back in your house for 10-15 minutes, let the spa reset itself. Very similar to a computer. Go back out, power it up, let it go through its channels, and very often, if there's really nothing wrong with the spa, everything just works great again. If something's still not right, give us a call. We'll troubleshoot it over the phone. If we're no success there, we'll get on out and we'll fix it. Troubleshooting tip, you just received your spa. Electrician hasn't been by your house yet, so we left the spa there and we weren't able to hook it up like we normally prefer to do. Your electrician shows up the next day, you fill up the spa with water, he hooks it up, nothing's working. I get a phone call, your spa's broke, you need to get out here and fix it. A lot of times, most of the time, what it is your electrician just hasn't hooked up the spa correctly. It's a simple fix. I'm going to tell you most of the time what it is. It's your neutral wire. That's the white wire. Often electricians bypass the GFCI where it says neutral and they go straight to the neutral bar. What you got to do is follow the instructions on the back of your spa order, run that neutral wire into the GFCI, and there's already a little white curly wire coming out of the GFCI. Have them put that into the power bar. Sometimes electricians will say, no, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this 20 years, and I'm sure you do, but spas are a little bit funny. I send a guy out there, he hooks the wires up right, boom, your spa works. I'm just trying to save myself some gas and some time and some aggravation for you. Just have them follow the instructions on the back of the spa order. If for some reason something didn't work after that, by all means, call us. We'll get out there, we'll get your spa running ASAP. That's it. We don't get a lot of warranty claims. Think of it like the way you treat your car, or at least the way I hope you're treating your car. Do your preventive maintenance, keep it clean, take good care of it, and we'll take good care of you. Any access to put your spa in the backyard, does it need a crane or not? One quick way to check is we check the gate generally on the side of your house, and what we're going to want to do is open the gate, We're going to take the measurement of the actual gate opening and make sure that that opening is at least as wide as the spa is tall. If it's not, and in this case at this particular job it's not, we're going to need to use a crane. Gaining access into your backyard so we can deliver your spa safely, one of the things we'd like you to do is check the measurement of your side gate. In this example, this gate is plenty wide of an opening to get just about any spa I've got in the showroom into your backyard. Potential challenge here is the eaves and the trees, so let's go take a look. The eaves, not only do we need enough space width-wise to get your spa in, we want to check things such as the measurement of your eaves to the ground to make sure that there's enough height there, and in this case any other obstructions, sometimes gas meters, in this case a tree. Is there enough distance between the wall and the trees to bring your spa in on its side? In this case there's not, and that's why we used the crane to get the spa into the backyard.